Many new course creators get to the end of their course creation journey only to realize that they don't have anyone there to buy it. And this is a troublesome feeling. One of the questions I get asked a lot is, Kenya, will people actually buy my course? Will anybody actually buy my course? And this question is rooted in the fear that if I launch this course, nobody will buy it and all my effort and energy and investment will be for naught. And I understand this feeling, but this feeling only exists because oftentimes we have not laid any foundation for any real strategic, know, like, and trust marketing to happen. And so today I'm so excited we get to speak with marketing owner, Elizabeth, and she's going to share with us how to get started with marketing when you don't have any marketing in place at all. And this is a great place to start to begin to get your wheels turning on some simple, connected, and authentic ways to begin building a buying audience for your course, testing your ideas so that once you actually get to the end of doing all the work and creating your beautiful finished product, that you have a tribe of potential perfect paying clients ready to buy in. So let's talk about it on today's Course to Cash Flow podcast. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Course to Cash Flow, the podcast for coaches and service providers who want to reclaim their time and create consistent paydays using courses. I am your host, Kenya Halliburton, and I'm here with the lovely Elizabeth from Marketing Services. She is a copywriter and the owner, as I said, of Marketing Services. And she and her team specialize in designing marketing strategies and writing content for websites, blog posts, social media, email newsletters, all the fun stuff that drives us crazy. So, welcome, Elizabeth. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Kenya.
I am so excited to speak with you. I think this is a great time to be talking about marketing, especially when it comes to our courses. So, as we kind of did our little pre-talk before we got on here, we're talking about like this phenomenon where, you know, you have this brilliant idea to create this amazing course and you put all this time and energy into it. And once it's done, it's like, okay, now who's going to buy it?
Right.
And so this is why we have you here, to kind of talk to us a bit about where do we start when we haven't had any marketing in place to start, selling our courses. So as we dive into this, I want to start with just talking about your background in general and how you started, how you even figure out that copywriting and marketing was your superpower. What
Mhm.
has this journey been like to you to even create your marketing services agency?
Okay. So, the short strokes of my resume are when I graduated from university, I became a fundraising um, coordinator, and I was in charge of hundreds of millions of dollars capital
Mhm.
campaign fundraising for hospital buildings, equipment, universities. We were building a lot of things like that. So many of my skills for project management come from working with influential and affluential members of the community, guiding them, and that was a lot of money to be in charge of. So we had to do a lot of written grant proposals and such, like different projects like that. So I really leaned into my English degree, and I love reading, I love writing, I love researching. So when I had my family, it was important to my husband and I that I stay home with the children. It just aligned with our morals and our values. But type A personality that I am, I couldn't just have my own two children. No, I at one point had up to 7 children that I cared for because I had a home daycare. And so when you own your own home daycare, as any business, you have to get your own clients. You have to market to your existing clients by sharing what we're doing every day so that they feel peace of mind going to work, leaving their most precious person of their life in your care. So, from those two experiences, when it was time for my family and for myself to phase out of the daycare, I decided this was around 2018. I decided, well, it took me many years to figure this out, but what do I love to do? What makes me jump out of bed in the morning? And then one day it finally came to me. Again, I mean, you hear these stories and you're like, oh, you just woke up and you thought that. No, it took me a couple years to realize what I really love to do. And I decided I love writing, I love reading. I have a natural interest in learning about marketing. It can be very lonely and isolating as a stay-at-home parent. So I was on Facebook, I was in groups. That was my network of people during nap time because I had to be quiet. So it was a nice quiet activity to network. So because I had figured it out, I had friends who would come to me and say, "Oh, Elizabeth, can you help me with my business? I know you're really good at it." And I was doing that for free because I loved it. And so I just tapped into what would I do for free? If no one was paying me, what would I do every day or what do I do? I write and I market. And that's how I decided that I wanted to help other business owners and I created the agency.
That's brilliant. I love the questions that you ask yourself. I find questions are so amazing in helping us get to answers. Duh. Right? But there was so much that you shared there that I think is valuable to what we're talking about today. You talked about your value system
Mhm.
and really being intentional about the decisions you made in terms of, what you ended up doing to earn money and coupling that with what you're good at and what you actually love to do. And I think, how important do you feel like that is to the equation of marketing? Because a lot of times, you just see a bunch of stuff, right? Or you watch a video and you get like this long list of all of these things that you should be doing in your business. And it's just overwhelming and you get lost in it. So how important is it to like make your life and lifestyle and talents and a priority and making a decision on what you choose and how you choose to market?
I think when you stand strong in why you have your business, your passion, your why, your story, and stories of how you help other people, that's really what's interesting to listeners. So when you have a really, and also equally important is when you have very specific goals. And I know we're going to talk about course as a goal, but and they don't have to be many. They could be three things. One, your values. Mine is to help others. That's my number one value. And if I'm not doing that, I don't get lit up and my business doesn't move forward. I have an annual goal that I would like to achieve because that helps me focus on what activities. So because I have this, I'm actually, Kenya, I'm one of your ideal clients or audience members because right now I am opening my mindset and preparing to design a course because that's going to feed into my dollar goal for the year. And then my third goal, which is in alignment with creating a course, is I want to have a certain number of leads on my email list so that I can sell to someone once
Mm.
I actually get it done. So I'm getting a little ahead of ourselves, but those are my three goals and why I chose to have them.
Yeah.
So every activity I do, whether it's marketing, projects, tasks, quarterly goals, what am I doing this week, projects from the team, they are all related to the goals. And then I find creative ways to tell people. So I'm going to give you an example, course related, because that's why we're all here. We want to have a course. So if I had a course and I have so many ideas, but I haven't. So I'll pick one out of the sky. Um, let's say I wanted to have a course to show people how to write emails because there are different funnels, automations. Do you want to do one-offs? Do you want to, schedule maybe a couple weeks in advance? There are many ways to approach it, many different platforms to do it on. So there's a lot to unpack there. So what I would do is I would actually test the content in my marketing by And no one's going to know it's for my course, but I'm going to get my answers because maybe my question is, maybe I have a theme. February or January, the theme is emails, and I'm supporting my audience who comes to me for advice on digital marketing through emails. And I may give a little gem, like, hey, do you have an onboarding or a welcome series for when people sign up for your email list? Tell me about it. And then in the next one, I could give them some tidbits. This is why you might want to consider having a series. And then
Mm.
another marketing post, I could say, my friend Kenya came to me and asked me about helping her with a welcome series. And we decided it was important to have an email that, explained what she does, how she can help. Maybe the next one highlighted a workshop. Maybe we invited them to follow us on social. So we shared those ones as a separate email. And then we made an invitation to either have a discovery call or sign up for a workshop that we have, or continue in the car with us on the ride to the course to cash flow journey through monthly or weekly newsletters.
Yes.
So we could come up with a series, but I would share that. And that's a story that people be like, oh my, and I see you're nodding your head. So you're relating to that. Your reader would relate to that as well. Like, oh my gosh, if you did that for Kenya, I need help, or I really need to think about that. I didn't even know I needed it. So that's how, that's a really long answer to your question, but full circle, when you have your goals, that helps you know which stories to tell so that you can tell stories, you have a marketing plan and a strategy, and then you fill that wheel of achieving your goals through your messaging.
Yes, what I love about what you just shared is the simplicity of it. Um, I think the goals aspect of it creates the focus. So you're not all over the place and wondering what should I do, and I think that's why it's so great to that we're talking about something specific like a course
Mhm.
as the focal point in what we're marketing. Because if we were just talking about marketing your business in general, and like, some people have like courses and they have books and they have all these
Mhm.
things, and all of those things need marketing, right? And so I think that's where you get into the overwhelm. But I love, love, love what you pointed out about kind of seeding out the concept of your course even before you create it. I
Mhm.
think that a lot of us, sometimes we think we have to like create our course in a cave, like, a mad scientist, and just, put the formulas together. And then it's like, ta da, it's here. And oftentimes, what I found is people get nervous that like if I put this concept or idea out there, somebody's going to steal it. But it's like if the way that you shared it, you share stories, you share anecdotes. You don't have to share all your like secret magic moving
Yeah.
pieces, but tell little micro stories. I'm a big fan of micro marketing.
Mhm.
So I love that you shared that. So thank you. Starting with the goal and, sharing stories and little anecdotes, and questions to kind of get a feel for what your audience needs. I
Mhm.
even do that with this podcast, Elizabeth.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I actually I will admit that I am a recovering perfectionist. And one of the things that I noticed was like, okay, I got to get out of the lab. I have to connect with people and start building that drumbeat. And not filter everything through my little 10-point checklist. And I thought, podcasts would be a great way to do that because I could have an idea and I could talk about it and flesh it out and put it out there and get people's feedback, and then use that information to put that in my course or in some different aspect of my marketing in general. So, how important or helpful do you think micro marketing is?
Um, so micro marketing in terms of
Just
really
Yeah, just being like really selective and small about it, not kind of trying to eat the whole elephant at once.
Yes, I recommend that. There's no reason why marketing has to be overwhelming. And this is what I tell my clients, and I've said this in other podcasts too, is let's use social media as the example. But it really works for blogging and for emails as well, any kind of digital marketing. Social and media are two words.
Mm.
Media is like a sign on your lawn. These are your posts, okay? And this is how I explain it to them. And it's going to give you some freedom and permission to not have to be there all the time, I feel. So the media is your post on your account. And in real life, if social media was in real life, it's like a sign on your lawn. So
Mm.
people have to drive by to see that sign. In social media land, what that means is they have to find you by a hashtag. They have to come directly to your account, or they have to find you when they're scrolling in their For You feed. And that's great, but not everybody is looking for you. Your raving fans will come directly to you, but not everybody is looking specifically for your account. They
Mhm.
could be looking for what you offer. So for myself, I'm a marketing agency. I only post 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And the reason I post 3 times a week is because after the social part that I'm going to talk about, people might say, oh, we've been engaging. Is she legit? They're
Mhm.
going to come to my account. And if they see that my last post was 2 years ago and I'm a marketing agency or any business for that matter, is this person even still in business? Like, what's going on? So it's more of a checks and balances. Very, not always, but I'm just using very general terms to give you permission to only post a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Um, you know, yes, they're still in business. Today's Saturday. She posted on Tuesday. Cool. It's good. Now, the social part, which is almost even more important than the media part, is are you engaging with people where they are? So if you're on Facebook, are you in their groups and being a valued member,
Mhm.
giving, giving? And then when you ask, they're going to be like, hey, I know who Kenya is. She has a course. Yes, because if she's giving all this for free, what is she going to give away in a course?
Yes.
Also, going to see what your ideal audience is putting out on their feed. Reply, like if have a conversation that's not in DMs, because not only are you giving their algorithm a boost, you're helping them, but other people will watch the conversation if it's of value. There are many times I've been in Facebook groups or on an Instagram post, and the conversation has led to where it was appropriate to drop my Calendly link to book a call to see if we'd be a good fit. I did that publicly, and I had other people reply saying, would it be okay if I also booked a meeting with you?
Yeah.
So, by using social and media in those ways, you really maximize your efforts. So, you don't have to have so much pressure of, oh, I have to post 3 times a day. What am I going to say?
Yeah.
so, I guess that could answer your micro media question in that you don't have to say a lot, but you do have to share a story so that when people do love you and what you're putting out through the engaging part, they can join your conversation.
I think that something you talk. I love that you separated the two, social and media. And I know one of the things that I've been guilty of in my course to cash flow journey in marketing is being more about the media
Mhm.
and not so much about the social. And part of my issue is I'm introverted, so sharing, sometimes gets weird for me.
Mhm.
um, but I love that you separated it because I think a lot of us sometimes we get so caught up in posting. When we do post, it's very, like come read this blog or come
Yes.
buy this thing, or and the storytelling aspects, whether it's sharing things about your life or sharing things about your clients or behind the scenes, gets lost in translation. And we both are members of an organization called the Podcast Collab Club, which is, I totally recommend, if you are looking to launch a podcast, be a guest host, I'm plugging
Mhm.
that here, check that community out. So this concept of strategic marketing. I feel like everything that you've been saying has been there's a rhyme and there's a reason for everything that you do. And
Yes.
it's very intentional. And I feel like a community, whether it's this community or some other networking community, Facebook group where you know your people are, um, is a valuable way to market. Because I know a lot of times we get caught up in like the the Instagram, the Facebook, and it's
Yes.
it can feel kind of cold, and it's like you have this potential to reach all these thousands and millions of people, but you feel like you're just in this little box. um, how valuable do you think, um, I guess I don't even know what to call it, like network marketing? It's not network marketing. That's not what I'm trying to say. But you know what I'm saying? Like getting plugged into organizations that either house your target audience or gives you an opportunity to collab with people who serve your target audience. Talk to me about your journey into, even this
Yes.
community that we're in.
Okay, so I'm going to actually specifically speak about the podcast collab and why I chose to join it, because I am along with many of your audience right now where I wanted to create a course. My goal was, well, my goal is end of quarter one, beginning quarter two of this year. So I decided this last November when I was doing my 2022 goals. So I decided, or well, again, questions. I'm always asking myself questions, especially in the shower. Shower is the best spot for me to ask questions. But I thought, what can I do before I even get to recording a course? What can I do to get myself comfortable with being a teacher?
Mm,
So I decided that short video, I was really seeing short video, TikToks, Reels. I mean, Instagram just changed. They had IGTV and Reels and they mashed it to Reels. So that's got to tell you something. If one of the top 5 players on social media is focusing on short video, they even have live video and stories now. It is really big. I think almost all the platforms have story options and video options now, and shorts, some version of short video, and 30 seconds to 60 seconds. This also answers your micro marketing question too, because if you can unpack one of your little gold nuggets in 30 seconds, that's a micro marketing thing. So to become more visible, to become comfortable speaking on camera, I really embrace short videos. I do that 5 days a week now because it's my exercise. If I wanted to lose 20 pounds, I would go to the gym 5 days a week. So this is my get ready for course, comfortable on camera so that I can get rid of all my ums and my awkward pauses, so then I can have a seamless speaking experience when I do my course. And the other part of that made sense is I have to put myself out there and go live. And that's by having conversations on podcasts. That's what I decided. So now I do 1 to 2 podcasts a week. It has really tightened up my message, my story. I am amazed with all of I'm so grateful to the hosts because they're drawing out from me expertise that I didn't even know I had until they asked me. And then afterwards, I reflect or I watch it over. And I'm like, wow, I need to include that in the course. So that's helping me also build my own content.
mm,
So not only am I collaborating with other industry leaders who share an audience with me, which is helping me grow my audience, which is, I know the next part of this, Kenya, is how do we get people to buy our course? I'm getting exposure to my ideal audience. I am getting feedback on my messaging, what people actually want to know about. I'm getting content for my own business to promote. I'm going to be ordering a transcript of this and making a blog post out of it, which will then be chunked up into social media posts, which will then become emails or newsletters. So I've just given myself, or quotables.
mhm.
Maybe there's a gem that I said, I'll highlight it from the transcript later and I can say, Elizabeth said this quote, and I can own it.
Yeah.
And that's how I get original content as well. And all I had to do was invest half an hour to an hour of my time doing a podcast, maybe a little bit of time prepping, and it lights me up because I'm talking about what I love. So how can that be a losing situation? Like, it's win-win so many levels.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love what I heard from everything you just shared was I have this thing with C's, the alliteration, of course, the cash flow.
Yes.
And there's three C's that came out of me listening to you. Um, content, confidence, and
Mhm.
connection.
Yes.
And so on the content aspect, I always talk about how course creation is a journey.
Mhm.
And so this is really good. I didn't think that we would get into a little. I'm gonna just give a little course nugget real quick here, because a lot of times we think, oh, I want to create a course, and then we try to jump right into it, thinking like I'll be done with this in 30 days or whatever, and then I can sell it. And sometimes you people meet disappointment because they get stuck on some concept
Mhm.
or they don't know where else to take it. And so course creation is a journey, but the way that you approach your marketing is so brilliant because it allows you to access those deep wells of information that exist inside of you and really kind of open that up and find that content to get unstuck, the valuable content to put in your course. But also you're building your confidence, you're strengthening your
Mhm.
weaknesses with this strategy and just the connection, right?
Yes.
Like, I feel like that social part that you talked about earlier is so key in all of this. I know for me, I joined the podcast collab club um, because I was just craving connection.
Mhm.
I mean, that's part of my whole introverted thing. It's like, I mean, going wide freaks me out, but going, deep is like my jam. And so being able to connect with people like you and some of the other people that I've had on this podcast and other people that I will connect with, you know, you go past the superficial, you actually develop some sort of know, like beyond even know, like and trust. Like there's a connection that's built. So I love everything that you shared. It's so brilliant. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you.
I feel like I have to go back through here and like pull out like the the nuggets, like in like 1, 2, 3 point, like point number 1, point number 2. Um, I wanna talk real quick about, how so we met through Podcast Collab Club, but what solidified our introduction was an email that I got from one of your team members, asking for us to do a lead magnet share, right?
Mhm.
And that was so brilliant. So I want you to tell me a little bit about that and maybe even share some of your, I guess, favorite marketing strategies as well. So tell us about like that whole lead magnet sharing strategy and what inspired it.
Sure. Well, this goes back to what's my goal for the year? I want to get at least 1,200 people on my email list so that when my course is ready, I actually have somebody to sell to. So there are so many different ways, but I thought, what's a creative way to go through this? And at the same time, that gives value to my audience. So my audience are female entrepreneurs. Well, actually any entrepreneur, but if I really drill down, it's female entrepreneurs who are looking to grow their business through their digital marketing and have a strategy and build their confidence in it. I really mentor, I kind of coach a little bit too, because I have different levels of services, whether we do it for you, but you're still involved in an interview style approach so that you just have to come with this with you and your expertise, like a podcast situation where you're drawing all of this goodness out of me that I'm like, ooh, I didn't even know I had that to say. So we do that with the clients, and when they're involved, then they can really, um, I guess, connect with their message even more than they thought. So back to the collaborations for the lead exchanges. How can I give value? Well, my people are probably looking to have a course to cash, a course eventually. So, course to cash flow, and your lead magnet is of value. So, I share that with my audience. At no time at all do we exchange email lists because that's a privacy thing that I don't want to get into. So, we email it to our list once we get it from Kenya. And in turn, we shared a resource with Kenya that we felt her audience, which is probably entrepreneurs, right? Coaches and service providers, that would give value to you. So if you're not on her email list, sign up because it just went out yesterday.
It'll go out again. You'll
What
get
was
it.
that?
It'll go out again.
It'll go out again. So you can get access to that resource as well. And not only are we serving and helping our audience, but when people see it from my list and they're like, oh, I need to have course to cash flow, that lead magnet, whichever it is, I need to sign up. Then that's helping to grow Kenya's list in a way, though, that's not spammy because it's helpful.
No.
It's helpful.
Yeah. And I mean, the thing about it is like, what's brilliant about it is when someone's on your list, the assumption is that they signed up for it because there was something of value. They trusted you. They got
Mm-hmm.
some value from your insight and they want to be in your world. And so if if someone's getting exposed to me through you and they've been following you, they trust your
Yes.
recommendations. And so no, it's not spam. It's like, no, I'm following her. Oh, she's recommending I check this out. I'm going to do that if I have a need for that because I'm following Elizabeth and I
Yep.
trust her and vice versa. So I think what I love about the way you approach marketing is the connectivity, like
Mm-hmm.
and the win, win, win. Like you're always looking for a win on both sides. And I
Yes.
think that's really the key, right? Because marketing is really about relationships. One of the things that you talked about, oh, we're at time. Okay, gotta wrap it up. Oh, we could talk all day about this. One of the things you talked about, and I saw this on your website, is the concept of creating content from conversations or interviews.
Yes.
I love that so much. Some years ago, and I still do that. Like even in my course, when I'm helping people design courses, I interview the course out of them oftentimes so that, they don't have, so you're thinking about all this stuff. It's like, oh, what do I have to say? But if someone's asking you questions and you're just kind of casually talking. So I just feel like the best content comes from conversations, natural conversations that
Mm-hmm.
you're having. So I think I love your approach to that and the way that, you set up your agency to help people because like you said, micro content, those little snippets, it's really easy. You can see on YouTube, like they pull out little snippets and
Mm-hmm.
music to it. And it's so like motivating and, it can get thousands of views and, leads from that.
Yes.
So
And I was gonna say on the micro marketing part too, when you're getting ready for your course, people need to decide if they can listen to you for 10 hours. If you're giving them video, even, doing a TikTok. Now I do my TikToks 15 minutes and that's from recording to loading. I don't spend a lot of time. Hi, here's point 1. Hi, here's point 2. Hi, here's point 3. I don't have to edit because
that's it.
I'm just doing this. So I don't edit. I add a little bit of music, might add a couple of stickers or like a little text to highlight my point, and I upload it. Or I save it in drafts if I do it in bulk, but it doesn't have to be hard either. So that's a message I want to just give permission, whether it's video or not. Even if you do voice to text, that's another way to capture conversation. If you don't have someone who can help you, Google Docs has a voice to text feature that's free.
Mm,
Just speak slowly, clearly, as though you are talking to someone, explaining one of your services or one of your processes. You don't want to give away the secret sauce, but you can explain the process and then figure out which part of it you want to give out.
I love it so much. I can't believe we got to 30 minutes that quickly. So I guess we'll have to end it here. I feel like we can talk forever about this concept of marketing, but you provided so much value today. So thank you so much. I want to ask you before we go, is there anything that you would like to leave us with in terms of marketing?
um, I'm going to actually, I have a quiz that I've created because I know we talked about so much today, and many entrepreneurs think, oh, I have to do it all and I have to do it all now. And it's just so overwhelming. And again, I want to give you permission to do one thing at a time. So whether that's designing a strategy, doing a website if it makes sense for your business. Not all businesses need to have a website. Maybe it's starting a blog, a standalone blog, so that you can attract people through that. Social media, emails or newsletters. And if you're thinking of doing a course, you better start collecting email addresses right now, because you don't want to have worked for, I know a course is a lot of work. It's daunting even just for me, like, oh, I have to do all this. So you want to have a solid email list before you even have the course, and warm up your audience so that they can get ready for it.
Mhm.
So anyways, if you're not sure which stage to go at, I've designed a quiz, very, very simple, and it's up to 10 questions. And based on your answers, I will recommend where you should go next for your digital marketing. It's not a hard quiz, and it's actually kind of fun, if I do say so myself. So I'm going to give Kenya the link to drop in the show notes. But if you're listening and you want it, it's bit.ly/course to cashflow quiz.
Yay. I've taken that quiz, I
Oh,
think.
have you? Was it
It's
accurate?
yes. I can't remember my result, but I love quizzes, so I'm always like, I love quizzes that tell you what you need to do, like, I'm developing one as well. I've
Mhm.
had one. Like, I love quizzes, so
Yeah,
I'm a
they're
nerd.
fun.
Yeah, but yeah, check that quiz out, it's very helpful. It always helps you to know what to do based on where you are. So, check that quiz out, and, other than that, how can people get in touch with you if they wanna learn more about how to work with you and your agency to help them with their content and marketing needs?
Sure. I'm going to direct you to my website, ermarketingservices.com. If you can read about me there, it has all the information. And if you want to thank you. If you want to book a call with me, go to the contact page. You'll fill out, answer a couple questions, and immediately, so check your junk box if you don't get it right away, but immediately you'll be sent my calendar link, and it will be me you're meeting with at this point. I am the face of the business. I have a team who helps me behind the scenes, but you will be working with me directly. I know that's been a question that a lot of people have asked. So we can meet, see if we're a good fit, see if I can help you. And if not, maybe I'll give you a nugget or two that specifically applies to your business that you can take away and run with.
I love it so much. Well, thank you so much. You have it. You all know how to connect with Elizabeth, and really take these tidbits to heart, and really, start looking for ways to separate social and media. And be easy about it. Make sure that it's life friendly and you're doing things that align with your values and your goals, because that's what it's all about. And of course, until next time, I want you to stay the course and enjoy the journey. I'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks, Kenya. Thanks, everyone.